Hey everyone! Hello everyone. Welcome. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Welcome to Intercept Insights. We're at episode 6. Hello. So, hey Gregor, hey Richard, how you doing?
Good. Thanks. How are you?
Good, thank you.
The weather's good, so it's getting summery at last. Oh, happy days.
Yeah.
It is getting very warm, at least up here. I think it's getting warm in the UK as well.
Definitely.
Yeah. It is. Yes, my laptop is struggling a bit, but I think we'll manage throughout the show, which is good. So I think it's good to be back. We have a great guest today. We've got Job, the CEO of everything at Intercept. We'll introduce him in a little bit, but I think let's first talk about what happened last week. So what did we do last week, Gregor?
It's like a very good question. Last week I did pretty much. I was setting up an acceptance and production environment for a customer. Kind of been doing that all week, to be honest. I also took part in the Microsoft MVP challenge, the Learn challenge. Took part in that.
How was that?
Yeah, it was good. I think it was 3 tracks for Microsoft Learn, where you had to go through all the courses and then fill them all in. So that was good. Yeah, I did. I think one was AI. I can't even remember what the other 2 were, to be honest. But no, they were good. Yeah, there was a lot to it.
All right.
It was good. Did a lot of courses. And I also got my MCT reminder, so I need to fill that out within 90 days. So I need to make sure I don't forget about that.
Surely you'll manage with all the sessions. Yeah.
Yeah. So we do lots of workshops, so it should be fine. So that should be fine. That was pretty much me. So I've been just basically doing the one thing for the customer all week, which has been good.
Oh.
Yeah, it's good to get head down.
Any golf?
No, not this week. Got some coming up this weekend, but I was away down in England last weekend, so enjoying the sun, which was good.
Oh, that's good. That's good. What about you, Richard?
So for me, it was finalizing the infrastructure ready for the pen test. And then over the weekend, my partner's family came out, so we went out and did some nice walks up in the Northumberland countryside and everything, which was awesome. And then this week, I've had to do the renewal for the AZ 500, which passed. Took about 10 minutes in the end, so nice and easy. I also got my MCT reminder, so thanks for reminding me to go and do that. You really need to sort that out. And I also, with you, Wesley, we did a AKS deep dive session for about 40 people, which was really cool.
Was a good session. I liked it. Lots of interaction, lots of questions. I think we helped a lot of people move on and help them with AKS. So it was good.
Yeah, we overran by like 15 minutes due to the question, so it was really fun at the end.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's a good reason to go over time, right? If you get a bunch of questions and you get into the nitty and gritty of it, I like that. I like that.
What about you?
Yeah, nothing. I did nothing. Just sat back, waiting for the next Intercept Insight. No, there's some preps for the AKS session with Richard. I've been testing some Azure Defender in the storage account. More on that next week. I'll be testing it with Richard just before the stream as well. So see if we can. We'll release some details about that. See what our experiences are. And I did a lot of designs actually last week. A lot of new designs, lots of new customers. Some with machine learning, which is really interesting, especially to do a design for that. So that's really good. So you get to interact with the data scientists and the AI people at the customer side, which they always find new ways to challenge you, which is good.
Indeed.
That was my week. Yes, good week. Very hot, more main hot for quite some time. I think that's the hardest part. It went from, I think that's the same in the UK. It went from okay-ish to wow, that's very hot. But, that's good. We'll get used to it. We're used to it, and we just got more excuse to drink more water.
Yeah, I noticed you've got a new light as well, Wesley, in the corner.
I do have a new light. I just wait. You can. What's that? That side.
Yeah, that's it.
I can. Oh, look.
Now you're showing
off. Look. I love it.
Very nice.
Very cool.
Yes. But now how do I get it back? What's no, that's okay. All right. Yes. Very nice slide. All right. Let's go to the next topic. You know that I love that animation even more. Now that I noticed that the Dapper thing is in there. My Dapper t-shirt on.
I like a Dapper t-shirt.
Even better, yeah.
Where did you get that?
Ignite Orlando. Dapper t-shirt. Loved it. When I got it, that's what happens when you go to a conference, right? We just run in the big hub. we get the stickers, we get all the swag, and then there was someone giving away t-shirts, and there was like a big line. I'm like, oh, that will be a good t-shirt. I bet that's a good t-shirt. Apparently it was Dapper. I got the t-shirt. I'm just looking at a Dapper. I had no idea what Dapper was. No clue at all. So then I took the t-shirt. But like, I like the hat. I like the name Dapper. Got into it, and Dapper is really good. We should do. We should highlight Dapper at some point and do some demos.
Yes, it's a good idea.
It is really good. All right, but what's new in Azure? What's new for you, Gregor?
So I am actually doing an internal talk tonight for Intercept on data. So I spotted that the Azure database for MariaDB is now in GA, and the Azure database for MariaDB Azure Defender is also GA, and it's also the same for Postgres and MySQL. So they've all went available as of 9th of June. So that was yesterday. So there's quite a few things went live, but they're the ones that kind of stuck out for me. So I'm kind of going to be mentioning that tonight on the Intercept Insights internal chat that we're doing. So, Yep.
All
right. What's new for you, Richard?
So for me, obviously, it's going to be AKS related, as always. So Microsoft have actually released like the enterprise scale landing zone for AKS. So it's like a reference architecture to implement, and you can go up there, download it from its in Git repository. You can just then install it into your own Azure subscription and just test it out and see if it fits your needs, tweak it a bit and everything. So it's an awesome starting point for any enterprises that are looking to take on AKS. How about you, Wesley?
All right. Yes. So first, Windows Virtual Desktop is no more. It's Azure Virtual Desktop, which came as quite a surprise to me. Now I wasn't the WVD guru, and I'm not going to be the Azure VD or AVD guru, if you will. I do like AVD better than WVD. W sounds much bigger word, but it makes me wonder, do we ever get Linux on Virtual Desktop?
It would be nice. I would like to see that, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I think Rini just mentioned Azure Virtual Desktop with Azure ADF support. I didn't even saw the name ADF coming. Like, what happened? What happened? Why is that? So maybe we get some Linux desktops at some point. It would be good to to play with. That'd be fun. And what we forgot last week, we didn't mention that PowerShell support for Azure Durable Functions, or it went GA. It wasn't preview. It's been a preview. I played with it a bit. When it comes to Azure Functions and when it comes to Durable Functions, I'm more of a .NET person. But I think it's good that PowerShell also gets these features, and now it's got GA Durable Functions. There are some good blog posts. I think Barbara did a lot of good posts on PowerShell and Durable Functions. We should find them at some point and share the links. That's what was new for me last week. Now, I think having said that, we have to introduce our guest. We've been really excited about this. We'll call him the defender of galaxies, the leader of the Intercept bunch, CEO, and definitely 150% the chief positivity officer at Intercept. Let's have it for Job.
That's too much other guys.
No pressure.
How are you?
Although I can relate to the 150% positivity guru. Yeah, that was going to stick.
I like
Yes,
that.
but you definitely are. I think if someone is always making people laugh at the office, it's got to be you. It's going to be with random singing, playing FIFA, just random stuff. It got to be you.
So the glass is definitely, it's not only half full, it's always like almost full, overflowing, so that's a bit like me. I can't help myself. I was just born that way. So just
that's
go with
good.
the flow.
That's a good trait to have. So Job, we've got some questions for you. We're gonna do it this way. Gregor's gonna ask a question, Rich is gonna ask a question. I'm gonna ask a question, and then I'm gonna give the word to Gregor.
Hit me.
Oh, okay. So your first question is, how did your life as an interceptor begin?
Oh, then we need to go way back. That's a funny story, actually, because I'm now at Intercept from the 1st of September 2013, so 7.5 years now. And before that, I worked for Oracle for 5 years. And before that, I actually worked at an IT company where Rini also worked. And I worked alongside with Rini, I think, for almost a year, and then I left for Oracle of a year and a half or something. And then I left for Oracle, and then I actually almost forgot about it. But then I ran into Rini again in the local hospital because his wife was pregnant and my wife was pregnant as well. and he just said, well, we just started the company. And I said, okay, well, what are you doing? And yeah, we're just doing consultancy, etc., etc. I said, okay, well, how do you sales? How do you do marketing? And I had all those 10 questions before we were waiting to go into the office of the doctor, of course, to do the ultrasound for the baby. And I said, oh, we need to talk some more. And that's where we actually connected again. And when they actually started figuring out how to expand the company, then that's when they approached me again. And I was actually pretty done with Oracle because I've done enterprise sales there for 5 years. I actually loved the job selling to retail e-commerce customers. But it was like almost 2 hours drive into the office every day, work from home maximum 1 day a week if you're allowed, or if you're the lucky guy back then. So I was actually ready for some change, and you could do a different job with the same customers, or you can do the same products with different customers. So. But there wasn't really any opening, and at the same time, I started a discussion again with Rini and the team, and then I made a decision to quit my job at Oracle and join Intercept.
Nice.
Yeah, so it basically started almost in the hospital.
Not the answer I was expecting.
No, I told you.
Like fate.
Yeah.
So, what does a CEO at Intercept actually do?
Well, if everything goes according to plan, not much. No, just kidding. So you can have two conclusions: that everything goes according to plan, and I'm a pretty relaxed guy, or nothing goes according to plan, and I'm really busy. No, I think you facilitate others to grow, and that's from a person perspective. So everyone within Intercept, as from a customer perspective. So I think in my job, it's important to make sure that everyone can do what he needs to do in order to obtain the goals that you set out as a company. And of course, we want to grow, so everyone wants to grow. But Azure mainly, but also the ISV market domain has a huge momentum, and all the new technology coming out, and the market is evolving really fast. The market penetration is growing really fast, and you need to capitalize on that. So I think it's my job actually to steer the company together, of course, with everyone else, but as a spearhead to steer the company to make sure that we capitalize on that. And I think an important part of the job is that you eventually take the blame if everything goes AWOL or goes bad. So it's facilitate the growth and take the blame if things goes wrong also to your customers, because we make mistakes like every day, and that's, I think, the way you grow. If you don't make mistakes, you can't grow. So but if it goes wrong, you need to be there. You need to show up. You need to take blame, and you need to take ownership. So I expect that from myself, to take ownership towards everyone and towards customers.
Nice.
It's great. That is great. And you say you're So either you're not really busy or you're really busy. From my experiences, if you want to do some text messaging with Job, it's usually somewhere after 10. And it's a good way to reach out.
No, I need to explain myself a bit more because I think I have 6 or 7 priorities, and one of my well, you could say hobbies, but one of the things I really enjoy within Intercept is just working with potential new customers. So you can take the call if you'd like, Gregor.
No, it's fine.
We'll talk about that call in a second.
We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that.
No, so I really love to talk to new potential customers because, like 2 days ago, we spoke with it was already a customer, but they could wheel in a really big customer for them, and they asked us to join the conversation, and they also asked us, well, how do we price this stuff? So how do we sell it? Can you help me to work on the business model? And then I think you have the right discussion with the customer. So that's what I really love to do. So that's one of my priorities. The other priority is Azure, but we're going to elaborate a bit on that, of course, later on. And and the other priority is actually to make sure that I have one-on-ones with everything who's in charge from a line management perspective. So that's of course weekly filling if I also do the new customers. And I also must say that I still get in new customers. So I take a big chunk of all new customer that comes in. I have the first discussion. So I take a great pride in that as well, and that's what I love doing.
All right. So we got a question. I was going to ask a different question, but let's do this one first. We got a question from Sana. What is your dream for Intercept?
Well, so if you look at work from like 8 hours a week, and that was also the discussion I was having with Matt the other day, that he like looks at his work on also the way is he can develop his skills. My dream for Intercept is that everyone is actually here and it's a happy place to work so that everyone can contribute, can master their skills and take ownership. So if we can create that with each other, and I'm also already really proud of the culture that we've set upon, like you ask for help, you give help, you feel in order, I think, to help others succeed. And it goes for customers as for colleagues. And I think if we do that and have a lot of fun while doing, then I think I would consider it a slam dunk. I consider it a great success. So that's my dream. From a revenue perspective, because I am a sales guy, because I love to talk numbers. I sometimes say 100 million in revenue or $1 billion in revenue could be possible, and then everybody starts laughing. And then my reaction is, well, why do you start laughing? I don't understand. Do you not see this as well? But I think it must be possible to come, for example, in the coming years to 1,000 customers. I think we now have 160, 170 customers, but I think it's possible to do 1,000 customers with the team. I think we have the infrastructure in place. I think we have the system in place, the model. And it's more about scalability.
All right. I think you're quite right there, and I also think we're making a dream come true then.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So now we get to my question. So ours can be Intercept, can be non-Intercept. Ideally, what does your day look like?
Well, to be honest, I don't like starting before 9 o'clock in the morning.
That's a sales thing.
No, but I can start, of course, before 9 o'clock in the morning if it's mandatory. But no, but it's a pretty busy life in my home. We have 3 young kids who need to go to school. We need to make the sandwich, make sure that everyone goes clean out of the house and gets to school like in a proper manner. So before we start, like at 8:45, then I already have, for my idea, almost a day worth of work already done. The dog needs a walk, and then I could just take my cup of coffee, and then I like to start. Doesn't matter actually the time, and then I'd like to start. So that would be my ideal start. Not too early, by the way. I once had a call with guys from New Zealand, and then was at 6 o'clock. I was doing a demo. Everybody was asleep at home. That's not ideal. But we can make it work, of course. A perfect day would be for me a customer meeting, potential customer meeting. and help others internally align processes and the organization. So get people moving, get things that are stuck moving again. And I'd like to keep it up with my email. I completely hate unread emails. I can't stand it. I can't stand notifications that are popping up on my phone as well. That's why I'm always messaging and emailing, because it needs to get out of the door. Don't know what that is, but I can't stand it. So I need time for my email, and after lunch, then again, I think a couple of meetings. But it all changed in, I think, COVID time, because the ideal scenario was also included some car traveling, but that's gone. So I do listen a lot less to music. Don't know you guys, but don't listen to music that much anymore, or to the radio.
Spotify.
Yeah,
I do Spotify a lot.
Yeah, only when you do focused work, but usually I did it in the car, but that's all gone.
Well, I actually, when I drove a lot to customers as well, with yourself as well, which is some good times, because there was always a stop somewhere. Get some chicken nuggets. Definitely. But
I know a great place here.
Yes, so that is it. When you're on the road with Job, you drive somewhere, you can drive for 2 hours. It doesn't matter where you go in the Netherlands. It really doesn't matter. It's like, oh, that one's got great beef sandwiches. That one's got great carpaccio. That one's got great this. That one's great that. All the time. It's great. It's great fun. But back to the topic on listening to radio, I had that as well. I used to, when I drove back home, I would listen to 538, I think.
Yeah, sure.
I never listen to that anymore.
No.
Never. Now I just listen to Spotify, just tune in some good music and get my work done.
Yeah.
It's that's different.
Yeah, and then I think for my ideal scenario in the evening, I think I work 2 to maybe 3 evenings a week. I try to keep it at a max of 2 to 3 evenings a week, because you can always work, right?
Mm.
And then the other evenings I like to exercise a bit, or read a bit, Netflix. And then in the weekend I completely forget about work. And then on Monday it was like, oh, work.
That's good.
That's good. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right, so next question, Job. For people who don't know Intercept, how would you describe the company to people who don't know Intercept?
Technology loving, fast moving, open company where you can learn, grow, have a lot of fun. And that's also something that you need to handle that. You need to be able to handle that. So we're not the kind of company that says, well, go sit over here, well, start your day easy, just go click on the right, go click on the left, let's go through the day. No, most of us already had 5 customer meetings by the time you were done. So, and that's something that you need to be able to handle. And I think that we are about constant growth. We always want to move forward. We always try new things. It's also due to the dynamics of the market that we operate in. ISVs are also very high educated. They're clever people. Usually they know what they're doing. Let's say 90% of the people know what they're doing, and 9 out of 10 times, at least they're smarter than me. I can remember a meeting with a customer in Amsterdam together with Wesley. My first day after I got back from my holidays, summer holidays, I was in Italy or something, don't know. And on Wednesday I started again, and then we drove Wednesday morning to the customer in Amsterdam, and it was all about IoT protocols. And I was halfway through that meeting, and I was like, completely didn't understand what was going on. And I was back with Wesley in the car, and he said, "Oh, don't you worry, I got you covered. I know exactly what we're talking about." I was like, "Oh, thank God." So that's also something that you need to be able to handle that as well. You sometimes don't have a clue what somebody is talking about, and then you need to read up about it. You need to learn your stuff. So that's how I would describe. Does that make sense? Or
Yep. No. Good answer. Yep. Brilliant.
Cool. So a question from me. Someone's told me, a little birdie, that you have issues with cars. They always seem to break down. Why? What do you do to them?
Yeah, and they especially break down on holidays. You don't want that. It is even so bad that I eventually bought another car and we went on holiday, I think to France and Normandy or something, and we got back and the kids got out of the car when we were at home, and the first thing they said, "Dad, the car didn't break down." And I was, is it this bad? You know, they were like 6 and 4 or something, and they were already memorizing that when we go on holiday, the car breaks down. So I got towed away, I think 6 or 7 times in Germany, Italy, France. It's man, it's completely horrible. I like 6 or 7. Even that was stupid. I like tanked gasoline instead of diesel. One Saturday morning in Germany, 7 o'clock in the morning. Go find a Volvo dealership then who can help you. Oh man, you're screwed. Same holiday, something broke down on the car again. It was gone for 3 or 4 days. Got a small Lancia Ypsilon, like a car this big, for a family of 4 or 5 by then. Oh man, it was horrible. In France, the same way. Like something in the engine broke down, and we needed a dealership. They didn't understand me. I didn't understand them. There was a rental car there. They didn't have a rental car for family Verhagen. And then they said, like 10 minutes fighting, le fax. And they run back, and they came back with a piece of paper. Oh yeah, no, of course there's a rental car. Just pick something out. Yeah, I always have trouble. So I'm hoping to go to Italy this time. It's 1,400 kilometers, and I'm a bit worried. So I'm pretty good insured now. And
Fingers crossed.
Last story. Once it was in the Netherlands, you have like first and second Christmas Day. It was second Christmas Day. We stopped. I think it was about around Frankfurt, so 400 kilometers from the Dutch border, and the car wouldn't start anymore. Oh man! And it was Saturday evening, and then you call just the road service, and then they just gave me the number from the German road service assistance. And this guy starts hammering on my engine. It didn't do anything, of course. And he just towed me away. And then it's Saturday night, and you're there with 3 kids. You take a hotel. And then Sunday, the Volvo dealership, of course, was closed. And then on Monday, I could go back to the Volvo dealership. Oh, man, horrible. Car broke down afterwards as well.
Oh, well. Fingers crossed for your upcoming holiday.
A lot of stories.
Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. All right, so last question before we move on to the speed questions, which Greg is going to do. So when you joined Intercept, we were with just a few people, or you were with just a few people, just a small amount of people. And now we have grown massively in the last couple of years. We've grown really fast, not just in the amount of people, also the things we do. This is our 3rd office building. I think, yes, the 3rd one.
Yep.
If you look back at the time when you started Intercept, when we were still a very small company, is there something that you miss? And don't say sandwiches from the city because we're close to that. But is there something that you miss from back in the day?
Yeah, well, you have like some growth pain like a hurdle that you need to take. Like when you go from 2 to 3 people, there's already a hurdle because the communication starts blurring a bit, and then you go to 10 people, and then again, and now we're at 50, and then again. So you still need more process in place in order to make everything run smooth. And I'd like it as simple as possible. And the things that you can't do anymore is you can't make it as simple as possible anymore. You need systems in place from communication until like processes that needs to work in order to get like certifications, etc. All that and that sort of stuff. And, you know, back in the days, it was just like you scream in the other office, hey, are we going to do it like this or like that? And then you hear it like that. Okay. And, you can't do that anymore. I sometimes miss a bit the simpleness, but I also think it's a big challenge for all of us to keep it as simple as possible. And if we could manage that, I think having fun also makes or it needs to be that you can make decisions fast, that you know who needs to make the decision, and you know what are the risks or what are the consequences of the decision. And if we can keep that clear at all times, then I think we can be as successful as When we were a bigger company, then we were a small company. So I think there's also a learning in there. And of course, I miss being next to the supermarket.
Yes, that was good.
So it's easy, right?
I would get my daily croissants from the supermarket because they're great. Yes,
You
no
already have
more.
breakfast? No, okay, let's get some.
Yes, it was like literally like less than 100 steps away. Just walked out the office building, supermarket. It was great. All right. Speed questions. This or that with Gregor. So,
Right, let's go. Right, you ready, Job?
Yeah, definitely.
Beer or wine?
Beer.
Among Us, Call of Duty or Fortnite?
Fortnite.
Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
Software company or MSP?
Ooh. You have me there. I would say both. Apologies.
Winter or summer?
A good winter is also nice. Summer.
Okay. Barbecue or going out for dinner?
Barbecue every time.
Cups in the cupboard, right side up or upside down?
Upside down. Don't understand those maniacs.
Video games or board games?
Video games.
Okay. Swimming pool or hot tub?
Swimming pool.
2 to go. Scotland, England or Ireland?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's definitely between Scotland or Ireland.
Good answer. That'll do it.
No, I'll go for Scotland. I'll go for Scotland.
And who wins the Euros?
Definitely not the Netherlands.
It won't be Scotland either.
No, it won't be Scotland either, I can tell you that. I would say France or Belgium.
I'm going with France. Good shot.
France.
What about Italy?
No, I don't think Italy. Maybe Belgium. That would be a surprise.
Indeed. Cool.
All right, that's good. The software company or MSP. That's what we're going to talk about when we get to the fun facts, which is right now. So, Job, software company or MSP? That was a bit of a trick question because I think in the last couple of years we actually started evolving or are a software company as well. Why can you tell us about that?
Yeah. First of all, I love being an MSP, so that's I need to make that clear, of course. I can definitely. That started actually pretty early on when we started working with Microsoft Azure, and you get the invoice from Microsoft, and the first time you open your invoice and you think, this can't be happening. Don't tell me this is the entire invoice and that I need to make anything out of this, it's extremely difficult. People don't know this actually, but it's extremely difficult to align the invoice that you receive from Microsoft with what every customer is consuming, and also applying margins and making sure that you understand that everything is being used is also being invoiced to customers. It's really extremely difficult. The invoice that we now have, if we want to do a breakdown on subscription level, we need to spin up a different VM on Azure, download the invoice file from Partner Center, then work our magic. Don't know exactly what Mark does, and then we need to close down the VM again if we have the results, because your normal laptop can't handle it. So it's about millions of records of usage data that you need to process. And that starts with 1 or 2 customers, right? It always starts somewhere, and then you have 1 or 2 customers, and you think, well, I can do it manually, and I can lose a bit of margin there. I can create a bit of extra margin there because I don't actually understand what's going on here, and the customer also doesn't understand. So I get away with that. But then you start to grow a bit bigger. And then you need a system in place. That's what we actually talked about earlier already. And we had an external product that did some billing dashboarding for us. But that never aligned with our purchase invoice from Microsoft again. So I was always checking in that billing dashboard, what does the customer see? Because first there's the monthly billing, and then there's the billing period. And we had a billing period from the 20th until the 90th. So I always need to adjust the billing dashboard to what actually the consumption period was and what the customer saw. And when we started with that billing dashboard tooling, there wasn't even like a billing period. There only was a monthly period. So you always need to recalculate that, or you need to wait with the invoice until there's a full billing period and then hope that it's aligned. So it's difficult. And if you have like 10 customers, you can still do that manually, but then you need to automate. You need to automate, otherwise I think you die. So that's what our developers actually did. So I'm really happy with everything that they did, because that's where we started. Let's see if we can automate it. Download it from Partner Center, connect it to our ERP, run the invoice from Microsoft, and then book it in all different customers, and then try to run the invoices from there as well. Well, if you have that and you can do it automatically, then you can't accept any exceptions anymore. So customers seeing the billing dashboard from the external tool never matched with the automatic invoice process. So then what we did is, instead of trying to align that, we just said goodbye to the external tooling for billing dashboard. And then you need a customer-facing bit, that's a bit of consumption breakdown, and where customers can see their invoice. So then you start, you actually have a customer-facing product in which consumption breakdown, invoicing is, and then you need to see how you can evolve that product. So because customers are asking questions nonetheless. So that's where it all started. If you have a customer-facing front end, then you start to figure out what can we do differently, or what can we add to the product to make the customer life and that of ourselves, of course, easier. So you integrate it with your ITSM tooling. In our case, that's Stopdesk, because customers need to log tickets as well, and you want to pull that information also back into the system. So you can find customers who don't have a managed service contract, but are asking questions that actually need to be invoiced, and which they're, of course, okay with. So if you're connected to ERP, ITSM, and like your Partner Center and Azure, then you also want to connect, of course, to your CRM system. In our case, is HubSpot for new customers. So everything there's one deal, then you need a new customer in the entire system. So that's a logical flow, of course. And then you have more information in the system that you can use and you can put into the customer-facing portal. We try to add automation and bits and pieces there, actually, when we can. And I think we now have a full Chrome product that we call Azure. You can find it on reazure.com, it does a lot of things. But it mainly is there to automate the internal process of the aspiring cloud MSP. And it helps to create more value against your customer, or for your customer. So continuously helping them to optimize their environment and using as much automation as possible. Why? In the long run, I believe that you can't differentiate as an MSP only by the technology that you choose. You need to differentiate either on your special market choice, like we do for ISU, for example, or you need to specialize on the modern workspace and then a bit of flavor around that, like for information security, or that you do for healthcare or for accountancy. But the technology in the background becomes a bit more common ground. So it's not in the old days that they sold contracts for 5 years and then written off the hardware, and they can do a workspace as a server $10 cheaper or €10 or £10 cheaper than the neighbor. I think that proposition is gone. So you need to differentiate. So that's why you need automation, to have time to differentiate and put as much time as possible in customer satisfaction and create a bit of margin, because you want to make money in the long run on the cloud as well. And that's difficult if you don't understand the billing in the first place. So there you have the circle again.
All right. That's good. And so we are now officially a software company as well.
Yep.
We put the link down here to have some questions about that. So we have developers. How do you experience that? Because we got from doing IT ops, and now we're also doing development. So you need to have product roadmaps and all that kind of. How do you experience that? That must be quite different.
Yeah, to be honest, for me, it's a bit difficult because I don't speak the development language, and I think I got by with like the IT ops talk and language. I'm still having a bit of an imposter syndrome there, but I can excuse myself. But from a development perspective, I'm also not that patient. So I think that's an area I could develop in more. So that really helps. But the thing about development is that they just create a giant backlog. And you have like, before you know it, you have like for 2 years of backlog items. Like, how did this happen? And when are we going to release what future? And I think that's a bit of a mind shift that I needed to make. Because if you ask for stuff, of course, from an IT ops perspective, you just deploy. You're gonna start working on the customer. Stuff is happening, but the developers, they just lock themselves in the room, and you hope them that when they're ready, then that comes out what you asked. And I also must say, for me, it's almost magical because I ask something what's not there. They start building stuff in a language I don't understand, and then when they're ready, I can click something, and I think, whoa, this is amazing. So it's what I really love about the process is that it's creativity, it's intellect, and it's also thinking ahead of, if I do this wrong now, then it's going to grow like in another direction, and that's going to be difficult in the long run. So you guys really need to think ahead. And also, to be honest, like, I think it's funny, I learned that at Oracle, software is the only industry that you can lease a product with mistakes, and customers accept that there are bugs. We call them bugs, but there are, of course, mistakes, You shouldn't. If you buy a new car, sorry, the wheel fall off. Oh yeah, that's a bug. We'll fix it in the next update. The just came off. Yeah, I know, that's a bug. Oh, sorry, it's a known bug. We'll fix it.
Yes,
that's the only industry that you're permitted to make mistakes. You can release a product that's not fully functional, and people buy it and say, "Oh no, that's a bug. It's on the next bug fix."
That's a good one.
Yeah. So, but I do think that's a mind shift. And we definitely needed to learn that, and we needed to also accept that. I think we're doing a pretty decent job now. And now the question is, how do you get quality? How do you get speed and scalability in the development process? That's I think one of the big questions that we need to tackle in the coming months. So that's what I'm working on. Does that answer the question?
Yes, definitely.
Great.
All right. Got one more. Did your understanding of software companies change now that we are also a software company? Because we've been doing ISVs or software companies, technology partners, give it a name, give it a brand. Did your opinion and your knowledge and your understanding change when we started getting into this ourselves?
Yes, but it's also more the acceptance that if you have technical debt, sometimes you come around the customer and you think, how is it possible that you have like for 10 years worth of technical debt, now you want to move to the cloud, and you actually can't move to the cloud because you need to fix all the old code. Let's put it that way. But now you see that we are busy for like 2.5 years. And then there are already like design choices that we now think that, well, we might take another approach on that. Now we know what new technology is, or for example, go to multi-tenancy, then we need to set up the product a bit differently. So I got a lot of more, well, I don't know how to put it, but I got a lot of more understanding, let's put it that way, for ISV who have a huge technical debt. Because at first when I thought, I was a bit impatient about it, but how can you like let that exist? But it's there. It's there actually the day after you've written the code, there's technical debt. So you always need to modernize your code. And I got a bit more in that mindset, in that flow, and then you also start to think a bit differently about, okay, well, this is what we need to work with. And I also don't think that you need to do it differently tomorrow, like 100%. No, you can take small steps going there. And I think that's the biggest lesson that we all need to learn. Yes, the cloud is there. It's pretty overwhelming for all of us, to be honest. I think it's really awesome of everyone keeping up with technology. I couldn't do that at this pace, but I'm really happy that we have colleagues that can. But you don't need to do everything immediately all the way. I think that's my biggest learning.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, that is it for the questions. Thank you very much. That was great, really insightful, really inspiring.
Sure thing. Thanks for having me.
Yes, you're very welcome. Also wonder, should we talk about Richard's moving desk?
Oh, yes. My new standing
Because
desk.
this is a thing here. So Gregor and Richard both have a moving desk that goes up and down, and all day they've been showing it to me.
I have one as well.
No,
Yeah,
I
Oh,
don't.
look at
I just,
Wesley, where's yours?
I've got one. I got it.
you need to have one.
I had this problem all day. Richard's been showing off his desk all day. He's just in a meeting. Oh, yes, it's great to have a moving desk. And then you go, every time.
So much better. It helps the back. That's what it's there for,
So how
Yes,
much do you use it actually?
Well, I only got it Wednesday, so I'm
No,
not
Not at all.
No, but
just when I'm winding Wesley up.
a couple of hours a day, or do you just take 30 minutes of standing and then go sitting again?
So it's got a little timer on it. So I can put a little timer to tell me I've been sat down too long. So I'm setting it to 45 minutes at the moment. So after 45 minutes, I try to stand up for a bit. Then I sort of get bored, so I sit down again.
Does it automatically go down? Does it automatically go down after the timer ends? That'd be hilarious.
that would be
just on
good.
the phone.
It just
On the
beeps at
phone. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
After for a workshop or something.
All right.
How can you have a desk with a timer in it? What has it come to this?
Yeah, it's technology for you.
It's technology these days. Yes.
That's
All
amazing.
right. Yeah, I think.
You also know that you need coffee, and that you need to take a toilet break, and you need to move your desk up.
I will get a moving desk at some point. All right. So I think we're at 45 minutes, so it's going to be the end of the show. I want to thank y'all very, very much. That was great.
Yeah.
Greg and
Thanks for
Richard, thank you as well. Looking forward to next week. Who do we got next week? We've got Remco.
Remco, yeah.
Yes. We're gonna drill Remco and see how he experiences life at Intercept. See how that goes.
We should
All right.
actually take a prediction from everyone stating who the Euros is going to win.
I'm going for France.
And then,
For me.
yeah, okay, but then just do a prediction from everyone who's giving a different country, and then take an episode to look back on that, and then see who's
let's do that.
We should give something away to the person who gets it right.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe a
Some nice
soccer
Intercept
ball.
swag.
Goodie bag.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, just a football or soccer ball. No,
Yeah, we should.
an
All right.
orange one preferably.
So, Job, yours is Belgium.
Yeah,
Gotta be one.
Yeah.
All right. So it's Belgium. We'll make a note of that. Job picks Belgium.
Yeah, do that. Let's see where these guys go.
I wonder. All right. So next week we've got Remco. Thank you all very much, and hope to see you next week.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.